Hi everyone, welcome to June, and sorry for the dark background today. I've just had a few challenges making this video with a broken foot and so on, but I wanted to get through to you a video still so that you can know what to expect energetically, but more so the angelic guidance that's there for you, whatever the angels want to say. So I just tried making a video before and it didn't work, and I ran out of memory on my phone, so that's why I'm using my laptop for this one. But as I made that video, I noticed certain numbers, and that's how the angels work. They draw my attention to something. So I noticed the numbers 22, and I knew that that was in reference to the recent terror attacks in Manchester, which happened on the 22nd of May, and also the number 22 was very evident. And I write about that in my June newsletter. So if you don't get my June newsletter, please do subscribe to it. It's free, and the link's below this video. For that. I also saw the number 55, and I just saw it again now, just before the minute was up. And this is a powerful, powerful number of change, transformation, and I'm really getting a double reference to it as representing the chaos that was prevalent in recent times in May and early June, and with all the negative world events, the terror attacks. Now, I know that so much of that stuff is on people's minds, and which is also why I wrote quite a lot about it in this month's newsletter, as well as an article on 9/11, because there were so many things about that event which make you lift your eyebrows, and not to mention there was a lot of date references, number references associated with that attack, and also just other world events that happen. So I notice things psychically, numbers, symbols, feelings, impressions, and so on. So I'm always happy to share that with you. Sometimes I don't share everything because I just don't have the time, but I try to get through whatever messages that I can. Now, keep peeling things back on a more simple layer. What I feel, especially through this card here, is that we've gone through this great period of darkness, and I feel I'm just being guided here to this part right now, and you might not see very clearly in the camera, but at that particular moment when I looked at that, for me it looked like a book that was flipping over, and what I get from that is that the pages are turning. They're turning and turning and turning, that this stuff is still happening, but we're asked to have a break, have an interim. See how there's this sort of wedge of light coming down here, and this card's all about healing and going downwards in a very vertical sort of shaft. And what I get from that is to get grounded. See how the feet are in the light there? Whoops, sorry, there you go, feet in the light. To get grounded, to get centered, and have a break. See how now I'm noticing that it's actually green light, and green is all about healing, and Archangel Raphael coming through and sending us healing. You can call upon Archangel Raphael at any time for healing, and he's associated with that green energy. So this is a period where we need to peel back the layers and peel off our defenses, and let go of all our fears and our angst. There's a lot of world angst, and we'll be feeling it independently. So if you've been feeling internal chaos and anxiety and just a feeling of being unstable and instability in the air, so this month numerologically is a 7 month, and that's all about reflecting on things and getting back to the basics, going inwards, maybe not doing so much, taking time to rest and contemplate and get more spiritually inclined. And the feeling I'm getting with the angels are giving me this impression of a lot of psychic information coming through for June. Especially I'm very drawn to the new moon, which is actually a super moon, and I've got the date and information about that in my newsletter. But I feel that the super new moon energy will be reflect a lot of, it'll be very powerful, it'll be quite intense. Some people might take it intensely in negative ways, and for others it will be, you'll be receiving profound insight. So you will have noticed lately that you're having more dreams, and you're noticing your dreams more, and it seems like you're so busy in your sleep. And so I feel that you'll be getting more guidance and images and messages through your dream state, but also in your wakeful state. So there's some new spiritual energy coming in. So they've just reminded me now that on the 21st of June is the solstice. And again, there's information about that in my newsletter. So on the positive note, it's about new spiritual information and experiences and sort of light coming through. So allow yourself to open to that, and for your own spiritual gifts to open. It's very much a time for prayer, and with that, not only for yourself and your divine will and what you want to intend for the next while during this period of change, this period of great change, but also the humanity as a whole, for the world, for the planet. A lot of people have been called to prayer, even though that's not something that they regularly do, or they just feel compelled towards it, or it's crossed their mind, or you would have heard it a lot out there on social media, you know, praying for Manchester and so on. But actually get down and actually do it. And it doesn't mean it has to be this long drawn out thing where you have to follow any kind of sort of religious wording. It can be all on your own accord, and just coming from your heart and what feels true to you. And that means reconnecting to the spiritual realms as well, and to your higher divine self in these times of chaos. The world is in a shambles, and you've been in shackles. You felt like the world is you know, there's so much going on, and terror and so on, and it's like an explosion of negativity and fear and so on. So it's time to unshackle yourself from those binds. And if you look there, see how you've got the chains coming apart, and what is helping that process, what is giving this person power? It's the light. So this is about recalling and reclaiming that light, that divine light within you, and knowing that prayer and positive energy and light and healing works, and that it's real, and it's very clear light. It's very vibrant, a white light, which is known to be a great clearing energy as well. I feel this is a sign for many people to clear their energy. And notice how this person looks like that crisscross pattern, almost to me right now looks like bandages. So again, it's a reference to those that are wounded. Now, two things about that. One is obviously with the events going on, the wounded people and the images that you're seeing, but also for yourself and those wounded parts of yourself which are coming to the surface or being projected in your reality. Okay, so it's a time to be restful and heal, and just work on simplicity in your life. Work on a new sort of growth and new beginnings. Feel like a new leaf that is about to be sprung forth and to grow. If you are getting some ideas and inspirations, really go for it. You might notice that will be sort of in the middle 2 weeks of June. You'll be feeling inspired if you're connected. And for others, that might be more difficult, and you might feel more challenged and burdened. So take heed of the positive spiritual messages coming through. Know that you have a profound ability to receive insights and guidance for yourself, and that you're able to awaken and develop your own psychic and spiritual abilities, and just to rebirth and awaken yourself as a light worker. Know that you are limitless, that you are in essence a spiritual being, that you are immortal, and that you are connected to divine source. Now see how this person is really, really centered, and there's a spiraling energy which represents so many things, but right now I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm feeling spiritual evolution, I'm feeling reclusiveness, cocooning oneself, protecting oneself, being in one's own little bubble, being centered. It's reminding me of, in Star Wars, Yoda and the Jedis, how they talk about going inwards to seek answers, and trusting in the Force, and which is interesting, since on which day was it? Was it May the 5th? Or 4th? I can't remember which one, but it's May the 4th be with you. May the 4th, that's it. It's a Star Wars day. Okay, so on top of that, on the other side of this card, it says you will not die when your body dies, a part of you goes on. So this is about the eternal soul, how there's this part of us that is absolutely eternal and never dies. So you'll remain united with your loved ones because they're also immortal, and we're all united. So this is a time where we might be thinking about those who have passed and perished out there in the public eye, but also the ones that are connected to you personally, and that might be in your consciousness. Okay, so it is a time of evolution, and in some ways it's a devolvement, as in a lessening, going away from God, and at the same time there's this encouragement, there's a spiral of light that's saying, come back to God, come back to your true essence, come back to what's real. So that's really important to keep going no matter what. Okay, I did ask for a message regarding those recent terror events, and these are the two cards that came up. So one is acknowledging emotional loss. Okay, so that's really, really relevant to those events because it affects everybody. And you know, yourself on a personal level, you're protecting your heart, and your heart goes out to others. It's all about, such as the Ariana Grande concert, the second concert that she had as the benefit with the other singers. It was called One Love, and so it's going back to that sense of unity consciousness, of that one love despite the odds, despite the negativity. And so I feel this is also a assemblage of getting back into your internal self, very much internalizing things, reflecting on things, and looking after your own emotions, because as humans we're very much have emotions, and you know, run our lives often by our emotions. Now see how there's the number 5 at the top there. So 5 again is that number of change, chaos, evolution, evolving, transformation. So allow yourself, and again see the spiral. So I'm often drawn to the repetition of symbols, and I just showed you a card before with the spiral, so I feel that that's another spiral there. Come back into wholeness, come back into God. And then 5 again, see the double 5, and as I noted before, I'd seen the number 55. This is about now, okay, all this stuff is going on. What choices do I need to make in my life? What changes do I need to make? What direction shall I go from here? Don't allow yourself to be dragged down. Really think about what sphere of your life you need to make choices and decisions for, trusting in your own divine will and having your own intentions. This card here speaks about intentions, and it's about and it's very much the golden flame and yellow colors reminding me of the solar plexus, the stomach area, and that's the seat of your power and control. So have you lost your power? It's time to reclaim and rebirth that sense of power in yourself. And golden energy is a very powerful healing and transformative energy, as well as fire energy, again, which is about transformation. So it's time for you to come into power and to tap into your personal power and your sense of confidence and courage, and bringing back the strength in yourself. I'd like to say an inner strength, so that you rise above problems. Now see all that repetition of the yellows, even in this card too, which is about hope. Okay, I have hope, but I don't have expectations, because that can let me down. I feel a lot of you have felt let down by others, if not recently, then in your past. And I just feel like that's coming up, okay, into your consciousness to take note of. And again, another number 5 in this one, okay? So see how the 5 just keeps repeating. So, and May was a 5 month. So this is just honoring that sense of you feeling alone and you on a soul level, and but just knowing that this is all a journey, okay? You still have your light. You will never lose your light. So keep that in mind. Be open to love. Again, this reminds me of the One Love theme. Look how big that heart is. It's like you've gone through so much. Okay, your heart is that big. It's an accumulation from this lifetime and all of your lifetimes. That boat is about, you know, it could sink, but it's not going to. Keep sailing ahead. It's okay to be different and to be sensitive and emotional. Talk about your feelings, express them. Notice pets around you, or pets in heaven also wanting to pop in and say hello. Okay, lots of love to you, and see you in July. God bless.